Hello and welcome to episode 1, part 2 of our Rogue's Journey. Now, we've finished the starting zone. We've got made our way to Karanos. And we're able to start questing, start skinning, as we've been into Ironforge and trade skinning and herbalism. And we've got our starting quests to be getting on with. Just going to make change here. There we go. So we are going to be looking for herbs, skinning. Here's some free leather. Don't mind if I do. Try and get as many of these as we can. Oh, I was going to say before they disappear. Awesome. Yeah. PM. So in total, we need about how much is it? About 120, but we're slightly under 120 leather in order to be able to afford what we need. It as a good marker, anyway. And getting the most important one being actually checking for herbs. Don't mind helping out. He's going to pull more in a crazy way, and he's a level 6 hunter, so if I don't help him there, he's actually going to die. Mage seems fine. He's okay. Very melee hunter. Don't know why you'd do it. Yeah, so yeah, our leather goal is 120 light leather. That means we need a lot more ruined scraps to make up that from scratch. And I'm certainly not going to object to all of this free skinning we get to do here. Herbs don't seem to be as prevalent as they were the first time we went through this. But then every spawn's different. So we're kind of making up for it by finding quite so much free leather. I'll say thanks. Right. I don't mind if they're oh, is that that is something. Was right. Thought for a moment it was Earthroot. Alright, make our ammo delivery.
See you soon. Safe travels. What's on your mind? Be good.
And I'm gonna head down this way. Maybe try and find some boars and a couple of bears. And another trail of destruction. Honestly, this amount of skinning, basically for free, is amazing for us. aggro range of the leopard is massive. I can't, like, with skinning here, I can't even be mad that everything's dead. It's purely free money. Take the rabbit too. You're not taking the earth. Can't. Drag it this way. So, about something like 60 of these skins been free. We've just stumbled across. Drag this ball. The next herb. And now the trail of destruction has ended. That was a ball here just back in the game. Is it? No. Went around behind me. So we'll go back the way we came. And at some point we will inevitably run into respawns. And then we can kind of clear back in the same way. Looking for the bears and the boar meat, the ribs. Earthroot. Herbalism at 9. We can't do Earthroot till 15. There's rag boars and bears here, which is what we came originally in this direction for. Should train that with me. No, we were far enough away, but not. A piece up there we can grab. And the bear's back as well. Awesome. Doesn't look this skinny. Think. Yeah. not getting as many herbs, but the amount of skinning is insane. So I can't keep saying that enough. This is very weird. Normally, like these thick bear furs drop super fast. Or at least did last time, and I don't remember it being an issue before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've just been randomly lucky. I don't know. But what I do know, we need ores. Wonderful. So, uh, Alliance players don't say thanks. Okay. You'll run sideways and leave. Ah, herbs. So leather's obviously good early money. Herbs are good early money as well, especially when you don't really need like much coin. If you do need to sell things, these are both 10 copper per herb. So when you loot a node, you're essentially getting somewhere between 10 and 30 copper. Earthroot is worth double that, so you're getting between 20 and 60 copper, which people would be aware, I'm sure, is quite a significant increase over what you would normally expect to find as far as loot drops and the like are concerned. Yeah. Now we can get the So we've actually got 78 out of our required leather already. See, 79, 80, 81. Eighty-two, 83. mean, I'm not going to say no. All of this. Right. Don't really want to be in here when everything respawns. Uh, we're only interested in the leather there. We'll fight our way out again. But we do need to kill some of these, right, for the quest. I'd rather not go into the depths of the cave. I did that in the playthrough where the video stuff blanked, and to fight a rare mob that was there as well. And it just felt so sketchy. It was definitely not worth it. This is kind of a decent back and forth, even. And come pick up the herbs, go and skin while they're respawning. And come back, pick up more herbs and any leather that happens to be lying around here. Someone looting everything. Leather. Meat. Effort. Wendigo. Nonsense stuff. Quest. You need the crank. There was non-looting going on. It's just crazy. I don't know what to say. Like this is just so much leather. No, it's level 7. Be able to loot that. Oh wow, all of the herbs just reappeared. We should probably do the Wendigo main quest now. Um, oh, and you're wondering why I'm not pickpocketing these humanoids. These are not pickpocketable. They do not have pockets, apparently. Um, you just stealth. Nearby there. Those are all rest 12, 8, 12, 29, And I want to finish the Wendigo quest before I go and sell. I don't know if that's going to be possible anymore. Or more mains. Oh, we've got like 2 possible slots that can also be leather stacks. Um, 20. Yeah. It's not like we need the plans. Here and loot. Come here and loot your stuff. Okay. Good. Yeah, we do on that. It's got a 2 in 3 chance not to be awkward. Still need one main. Um, yeah, there's no point. We skin these and then go and sell. No, oh, in some of them. Let me skin that one if he engages. Just going to stand there and watch. Good. Well, twice 25 copper. Yeah. Gamble. And 10. That could have been 20 or 30. It is a herb. We do need those later. Okay? We've done incredibly well for ourselves. We've got a ton of leather. $140 at least.
Hi. See you soon.
So we'll sell.
What's on your mind?
We'll hand in
Off
quests.
with you.
And then we'll go into Ironforge and abandon skinning. Skinning. Herbalism. At the moment.
What can I get for you today?
It's already home.
On the ground. What can I do for you? Safe travels. Keep your feet on the ground. Great to meet you. Safe travels.
I don't think we need to spend on that because we should have enough materials to get what we want already.
Hi, how are you?
That can be sold. So yeah, this is like the worst cooking recipe in existence, essentially. Each cooking uses 1 crag boar rib and 1 rhapsody malt. And the rhapsody malt you have to buy from the innkeeper for 50 copper. And then it sells for 10.
How are you? Be good. See you soon.
While all of the other cooking recipes do exactly the same as it does at
Safe travels.
that same level.
How are you? Off with you.
And it's just this massive, massive money loss that isn't just not worth it at all. You're best off just vendoring the recipe. Grab these herbs. We abandon herbalism. Now we can go into Ironforge and craft our leather. I took a look at the previous stream, and it was out of the, was it 4.5 hours, 3 hours of the stream were just black screen. So I figured it was best to simply kill the character, delete it, start again, and actually have something to show for my effort. ASMR stream. Well, yes. I suppose it would be. you, you, so you watched 20 minutes before you said anything. I find that really funny. But it's been a bit more active, I guess, this evening with other players around. So we've been incredibly lucky with how much leather we've been able to have to sell. And to craft with. Yes, so when the priest died yesterday, I set up a new scene and went over the VOD to see exactly what happened, when and why. And when I started up the stream today, I forgot that I had left the that scene as the selected scene. So although there was still voice, it was just showing that instead of the game.
You have a great day now.
Dropping herbalism, learning leatherworking.
How are you?
Oh yeah, I mean I know I was explaining that what I was doing. It's a lot better explaining what you're doing when people can also see what you're doing. Anyway, so we're going to turn all of this into light leather first. Yeah, when we logged in, there were 4 or 5 people, I think, running around, just swarming the area where we wanted to quest in. But of course, the area where we wanted to quest in was full of animals, and so there was just this swathe of skinnable things. So the first thing we did was get skinning up to something like 70, only killing about 4 mobs ourselves. But I mean, it's perfect for what we want to do. and I can explain this properly this time. So we're using the ruined leather scraps to skill up the leatherworking as much as possible by creating the light leather while it's still giving regular skill points. And we'll finish all of the light leather. Then we'll, depending on the skill level, we'll probably make a few light armor kits. And I think it's then hand-stitched leather cloaks. But the aim is to get to leatherworking to 55, and at that point you can learn the boots here. Scroll down, the embossed leather boots, and unlike essentially all of the other like green or green quality items that would be worth vendoring, for the amount of leather it uses, it sells really high. So I think the embossed leather vest uses a similar amount of leather, and that sells for 192, and the boots sell for 268. And the material cost is something like 1 silver 80 per craft. So you make about 88 copper for every pair of boots that you make. Which at level 7 is a pretty big difference. Plus, of course, we can use some of the leather to craft some initial starting gear for ourselves, which is helpful. Okay, so we've got that to 136. We can make some armor kits. We'll stop, depending on when the skill gain slows down. But regardless of anything else, it would probably be a good idea to make about 8 or so. So make 12, but it feels better to do them in sets of 4. Oh, I was expecting that to go up maybe one more than intended. So that's at 45. I think we can make the hand-stitched cloak now.
Making a special purchase?
And we want about... we'll start with 10, see where that leaves us. Now, do we want to craft? We want to craft the chest. That's one skill point that we can do, not on our leather cloak. Probably the embossed leather gloves as well. But that's 55 anyway. That got us to 53. Was there anything else that we wanted? No. Okay.
Be seeing you.
Can I help you?
We want the vest because we'll actually use that. We may need some cured like hides, so we'll train that. Don't need those. We'll train the pants and the belt.
Have a great day now.
Can I help you?
So, I guess we'll two. All these cloaks.
Off and away. Hey,
Oh, okay. So we can make the pants. Belt. Vest.
right.
And that can now be sold. Can now be equipped. That can now be sold. Now be sold. Boots can now be trained. We'll train gloves as well.
Would you like to purchase something?
We'll create the embossed leather gloves. Now we can wear those later when we hit level 8. And we can create our first pair of boots. Which we can wear at level 10. Now we can see how much we've got. So each pair of boots uses 8 leather. So 5 pairs of boots will use 40 leather. 10 pairs of boots, 12 pairs of boots. So we need 60 coarse thread. all of that hard work now, and we can sell all of these boots. And we end up with 35 silver, just over.
Daylight's burning.
Now, these armor kits go on chest, legs, hands and feet, so we'll put one on these hands, one on these feet, because that'll be what we're wearing. We'll put one armor kit on our current chest, and then we'll see
Interesting.
what we can train soon. So we can actually make embossed leather pants soon at 75 skill. So we'll need to train up some more leather for that. And that might need a cured hide if my memory serves me correctly.
Very well then.
Let's have a look. Does this say embossed leather pants? No, it doesn't tell us the
Interesting.
but this is enough money that we can go to Stormwind and train swords and have enough left to purchase the item that we in Lochmadan as well. So we'll run up this, no, down this way. We need to go through Tinkertown. I was thinking for a moment that we need to go to the bank in Ironforge, but we don't. Because where we're going to in Stormwind, we're essentially going near the Stormwind bank anyway, so we can use that one instead. Yeah, so we're 4 bars to level 8. And when we hit level 8, we'll be able to equip the sword that we'll be buying. And we'll have paid for its purchase and training as well, which, as a self-found character, is a pretty huge deal. Oh, nice timing on the tram there. Perfect. And obviously we've got a couple of items crafted already for when we hit level ups, which will be nice. Having some decent armor ahead of time. Always makes things feel good. Lots and lots of steam. Not much actual choo-choo though. We're going to train swords. We're going to drop our armor kits in the bank. As we've put them on chest, legs, hands and feet, so we don't need them taking up a bag slot. And we don't currently have enough silver to also purchase an additional bag. Well, that will change fairly swiftly. But the most important thing is purchasing that weapon on time. Actually, and while we're here, let's not forget we'll grab the Stormwind City Griffin flight point.
Need help? Go with honor, friend. Greetings. Be careful.
Hey there. See you later. Safe travels.
Oh, hey, Ice. You almost died to the Wolf Master. What? That's ridiculous. What happened? Did the tank just not have aggro or something?
You need something? See you around.
But did the tank charge in to the wolves and the boss at the same time or something? Because like the wolves in that room you can pull without aggroing the boss at all.
Looking for something specific? Be careful. Safe travels.
What are you looking for? For the Alliance.
I mean, Druid tanks should have pretty good AoE threat with Claw.
What are you looking for?
Hey there.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
Oh god. Okay. That quest, although it looks like it's there, is actually in the building on the other side. Grab this one. Moment.
Hello.
How are you? Have a good one.
Because this one takes us there. Apparently. Yeah, it sounds as though it was kind of sketchy. Was the run okay up until that point or not?
to you. Safe travels. You need something? See you later.
Yeah, because the Wolf Master, like you should essentially pull and deal with the that the wolves first, and then when all the wolves are dead, then the boss comes and attacks you as well. But those like initial wolves, like they don't hit very hard. Shouldn't be that bad. Yes, I think he possibly calls or creates more. So like if the tank charged in and you were fighting the boss with his like already existing mobs and then he made extra, then that would cause issues. But it's as I say, it's the mark of it's what makes the difference between a good and a bad tank. Good tanks will hit something from range and pull things back to keep things controlled. A bad tank will just charge in and cause chaos, essentially. Yeah, I mean it comes with practice, but you know you can kind of keep an eye on where the tank is and what they're doing pretty easily. Like once you're used to it. Um, but like it's getting it to that point. That's the issue. Does it tell when you went to dispel? I think it can do. I remember years and years ago that when it did, I think it did it differently. So I know that I've seen things pop up on the standard interface that it's not. I don't feel that Healbot is telling me. No, that's no. Let me sort that out. Otherwise, that's going to go crazy. Turn on the rares. Turn on Horde PvP. Turn off Alliance PvP. Yeah, so I was always used to seeing like a little icon appear on the bar to know that it's dispellable. I've had a little look in the options since then, and I think it possibly says that it colours the bar, but I think it might be something you possibly have to configure yourself. So it might be worth googling to see exactly like what's up with it, because it should be doable to make it display something to give you an idea of what needs to be done and when. I'm pretty sure I've used Healbot before when I've played a mage to tell when to decurse and things. It is decursing with mages, isn't it? Yeah. but that was a long time ago, like back in Wrath or Cataclysm. I think the add-ons changed and evolved since then. So, just to fill you in on what we're doing and why,
See you around.
we're level 7 still. We've got 2 bars to go until level 8, which is when we can equip the sword that we've been working towards. We crafted a load of boots. We had enough silver to
What can I do for you?
buy the
Safe travels.
weapon skill, and to buy the weapon itself. We need to go and buy the weapon.
Bless you.
Um,
For the Alliance.
but since we are in like Stormwind to do the weapon training, and we need 2 bars of experience, it makes the most sense to do these really low level quests right now before the
Hello. Have a good
reputation falls off for them being grey.
See you later.
So that's why we're level 7 in the starting zone here
Good to
in
see
Elwyn
you.
Forest.
Have a good one. See you later.
Let me know how you get on with setting that like notification up for dispels and abolish disease and stuff. So I do remember seeing something about it. It should be relatively easy to do, I think. But it's given that I'm on a rogue now, I've been looking up different bits of information to remind myself and refresh my memory of this instead. The only real thing I could properly remember was the like the grindable weapon upgrade with skinning. Oh, kobold vermin as well. I don't know if you saw the massive fail that I had earlier today. I started the rogue, and I didn't realise, but I had the scene selected from when I did the VOD review yesterday. So I did about 3 hours or so of rogue leveling with black screen and just me talking occasionally. Um, so I decided to get rid of the character and
Hello.
start again
Safe travel.
with Vision.
See you around. Well met. Be careful.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I did finally figure out how to do the highlight
Go
properly.
with honor, friend. Light bless you. Be careful. For the Alliance.
I don't know if it looked a bit blurry. I've upped the stream definition since then. I don't know if the stream appears any better as a result. I don't know why, but for some reason, like I view this in, was it 1960 by 14 something or whatever the resolution is, and the settings were squishing it down to something like 1200 and by something else. It was odd. Yes. I mean, you had to. There are so many quests that inevitably some of them. Well, see, that's going down a different rabbit hole. I say inevitably some turn grey. That is not necessarily strictly true. I've been thinking a lot about it, and you probably couldn't do it on Alliance. Well, you probably couldn't do it sensibly self-found on Alliance without getting help, like portaling to different places. Because otherwise it's really a pain to get to Darnassus. But as Horde, you might be able to more easily, like solo, like if you started Tirisfal Glades, and you did that starting area, and only did what was required to complete quests and nothing more. And then you went to Durotar and did the same. I'm talking like levels 1 to 5, so that any quests would remain green for as long as possible. Then you might be able to avoid quests turning grey, but you'd have to dedicate travelling from one starting zone to the next, like really early. I'd be really interested to see how that played out. like as purely as an experiment. So I may well do that on one character. But it'll have to be Horde, I think, if I'm going to be doing it myself. 'Cause, like, I would want to know if it was possible to do solo, especially with like the Barons run. It's more interesting finding out if it's possible solo than I guess getting a mage to port you to Thunderbluff, for example.
I supply only the finest goods. Go with honor, friend.
So, but that's obviously something to do for another time, and it would potentially be
Be careful.
like a lot more work. But it could also
Go with honor, friend.
like maximize quest experience gain if you didn't mind that, like, the extra tiny bit of travel. But the key thing is that any reputation gains that are made from doing quests, when they go grey, they lose 20%, and every level thereafter they lose another 20% of the rep that they give until I think it bottoms out at only 20% of the original rep. So like that's as low as it can go. But when you look at doing like different factions starting zones, if you're after the rep gain, you kind of need to go there sooner rather than later before the quests become almost rep worthless. Yeah. Well, if you think how much like Runecloth people grind at 60 to get faction rep up, and then you think at some of the lower level quests in starting areas reward like 200 faction rep or whatever. Well, the Runecloth hand-ins only award 150 rep. So, if you can do the entire starting zone or multiple starting zones and be getting full rep from them, it potentially saves you a lot of Runecloth farming if that's what you want to do. It's a question of what's more efficient. Well, I mean, to avoid XP from the mobs, you'd go there with a high level character in a party and have them kill them for you, I suppose. I think the only solo way I know of being able to kill mobs without getting the experience is shaman totems. Or possibly warlock and hunter pets, but only if the pet completely kills it solo and you don't interact with the mob at all. I'm not certain on the pets, but I do know it's possible with shaman totems.
Light bless you.
I'm unsure. I know it didn't. I know it worked for avoiding the experience. I don't know whether loot was still possible or not. So the reason I know about the shamans is I watched a Savix video where he was doing a Swamp of Sorrows escort quest, and he was worried about dinging to level because he was trying to do finish the quest before a particular level.
Light bless you.
And he managed to mob kill with totems to avoid leveling.
Greetings. Be careful.
But I can't remember whether he was still able to loot things or not. I mean, well, you can see the rep I'm gaining here from hand-ins. 100 rep a time. Yeah. I think if I test it, I think I'll probably test it whenever I do another warlock, because then I'll be starting in Tirisfal, and like you finish the starting area, you go to Brill, the Zeppelin's right there. You get off the Zeppelin outside Orgrimmar and can run straight down, uncontested, to the Orc starting zone. And after the Orc starting zone, crossing the Barrens, low level, at least there would be a pet to take aggro if absolutely needed. If there was some awkward moments, like level 8 versus level 15s. I don't know. So, like, it's definitely safe to walk through the Barrens between Mulgore and Durotar at level 10, if if you're actually using your eyes and are being careful. Like, it's fine. Possibly scary, but fine. What I don't know is like how well, like what level would I be? Because it's possible to finish Tirisfal Glades. I want to say maybe still level 4. But then of course you've got to go to Durotar. Are you going to, how much experience is that going to give you? How much will it level you? Would you have to stop doing Durotar at some point and head to Mulgore before like the level 1 quests went grey? Because I think they'd go grey at if you hit level 7, I think. Because they're green for like 5 levels under you. But I just find things like that really interesting. Like what is possible? Just how much rep can you squeeze out of these low level quests? Well, that's what I'm interested in finding out. Essentially, is it possible to do all 3 starting zones and finish all the quests in them while the quests are still green?
Hey there. Have a good one.
I mean, possibly. Or I want to level swords anyway, so we'll take that one.
Safe travels.
Need help?
Yeah, there's a lot of
Or the Alliance?
there's lots of possible. I think the Shaman XP trick would probably not work because of how late you get totems.
See
You don't
around.
get fire totems until you've you're at level 12 and you've gone to the Barrens and then killed some Quillboar. You know? So you're not going to have it until starting zones are essentially over, so I think Shaman's out for that. Warlocks get the imp as soon as they finish the quest. So a warlock starting in Tirisfal would need to kill 3 Rattlecage skeletons, potentially, if you got the appropriate skull drop every time. You could certainly try and extend it in certain ways. For example, by only killing the mobs that were of the lower level, so they gave less experience. That would be properly min-maxing it. Yeah, exactly. A lot of quests are like that because the quest level will be sort of set at the break point between the two. Another way of lowering experience, of course, would be to do it in a party of 5. If you didn't, I don't know how much a high level party would affect it. Like having a 60 there killing stuff. I don't know how much XP penalty that would apply. Can't remember. But yeah, party of 5 could work as well. Especially when you're talking about like the kill credit quest. But the imp isn't going to be killing stuff on its own though. It's too squishy, I think. And you would need to be level 10 for the Voidwalker. So I think some form of party is probably the only way to achieve like lowered XP. Like either a 5-man party or
You need something? Have a good one. Safe travels.
or just with a 60 or multiple 60s. If that would have even more of a negative impact. Experience gets split equally between all members
Safe
members
travels.
in the group.
See you around.
So, if the more people you have in a group, the less experience you get.
What can I do for you? Be careful. Need help? Or the Alliance?
Yeah, that would slow things down reasonably. You could tweak it. So like if everybody was doing the same quest, then for the kill credit quests, you could be in the party with everyone else, and for the item drop quests, you could leave the group, let everybody else get all of the item drops first, and then join the group and only kill the mobs that you need for the drops.
What can I
Like
do?
that would be another ways of saving stuff. And then they'd slowly pull ahead in levels because they'd be killing slightly more stuff than you were.
See you later.
you.
It's funny, isn't it, how such
Light bless you.
a seemingly simple sounding question can get weirdly complex. But that's like I find that really interesting. It's only by asking questions like that, the like what is it possible to do, and that sometimes you stumble across things that like mechanics don't quite work as people thought they did, you know, but you wouldn't realize at all without having like questioned stuff, you know.
Light be with you. Go with honor, friend, for the Alliance. Light bless you. Be careful.
Good day to you. Safe travels.
Yeah, I mean, like the amount of rep you can get,
How are you?
like it's kind of the ultimate question there is essentially, is it worth like the extra time and hassle when you're making a character to do all of this going to different places to get the rep in the first place, or is it better to level and then grind Runecloth for however long to do all the hand-ins that way?
See you later. I supply only the finest goods. See you around. What can I do for you? Have a good one.
Anyway, now we are at a point where we can path back to Dunmorrow.
I've the finest wares in the land. Watch your back.
Buy one more bag. Yeah, I've broken a lot of systems and things in my time. When you manage to break something that people don't think is breakable, and then they don't believe you that you've broken it, that's one of the best feelings, I think. Or alternatively, when you've sort of achieved the seemingly impossible, that's always a good feeling. Are you familiar with a slightly older game now, Neverwinter Nights? So I used to play quite a lot of online role-playing servers back in the day. When it was, I mean, people still do play the servers. I pop in from time to time, but back when it was more popular, I was on there quite a lot. And I liked taking a mage and trying to solo content that was both like far above my level and that people would think I was crazy for even attempting. The best feeling is when you get whispered by one of the like server admin team saying, "But how are you here? How are you doing this? You're level 5. What are you? What's going on? Are you hacking?" And you're like, "No, no, I'm just smart and using using abilities properly." It's very squishy, isn't it? Oh, right. That is funny. Yes. Okay, so it takes more than one imp to defeat what an enemy, and then but then you still don't get kill credit. Yeah, yeah. Group play seems to be the only way to do it. I think if you really wanted to limit your XP gain massively, I think I'd probably do the test from a not grouping solo standpoint, so that there was a sort of baseline to work from. Or, well, I mean, when I say not grouping, like I'd group to, like share quest credit with somebody, rather than compete with mobs still. But I wouldn't like go out of my way. And this has been something, no small amount of messing around to get this done, but I think it's been a much more successful showcase of how to do this self-found, and we're picking this up. Essentially, we were able to buy it at level 7, but we've gained another just over half a level doing the Stormwind Elwind Forest quest. I don't think so, because I don't think so, because like the group counts as an entity, I think. So like as long as one person in the group got credit, I think it counts. I mean, it would be worth, testing just to see if there was any fluctuation or difference. But I don't think it would be an issue. I think you'd get full XP. I mean, think about healers in dungeons. You're not doing damage, but you're getting the XP reward, and you are on the threat table. You'd literally have to stand there and do nothing to see if there was a difference. Anyway, here we are. One metalsmith, one feral blade.
Be good.
So we're going from 3 to 7 with an average of 2 damage a second, to 12 to 24 with 6.9 damage a second. How huge is that?
How are you?
Definitely worth the work involved. And possibly worth picking up this quest as well while we're here.
Safe travels.
And we want to grab the flight point.
Interest you on a pint?
There's a very good reason why I was so good at systems analysis when I studied it in depth. I tend to ask questions that a lot of people either don't ask or consider and then assume an answer. Which, you can't do that. You can't assume.
Hi. Safe travels.
So the reason we're going back this way is that there is another quest that we can do now that we've got a sufficiently strong weapon to actually be useful and deal enough damage to fight the mobs in question. We're able to go back through the North Tunnel. Okay. Should we get that from both the sheep? Nope. Okay. We skinned the sheep and got some wool cloth. Interesting. I mean, it makes sense. But I would imagine that most players don't know that's even possible. So here we go. This is the quest that we want. The Lost Pilot. It's one of the shortest quest chains imaginable,
What's on your mind?
but it does provide a good reward. I'm just going to level up our weapon skill a bit more. Okay, that was a parry. That was annoying. Our health regenerate. Oh, that's level 7. That's a better candidate. That's level 8. Oh, Paladin has blessed us. Want to make sure that we've got a decent amount of weapon skill for this. Can't remember if the mob we need to kill is level 10 or 11. I think it might be 11, which is why I'm interested in the weapon skill here. It's 11, yeah. the reason that we've come here to do this quest is for this quest reward, which is a green dagger that we can use in our offhand when we hit level 10. So I'm still not overly happy with how the weapon skill gain is going. I'd rather be higher, given the mob's 11. I have a potion. I suppose we can bring it down to the guards as well, actually. Things go awkwardly. Or dodge. Right. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back again. Essentially, with it being a level 11, we can't be 3 levels down and miss weapon skill for the fight as well. Even with guards being close by, that's not really a very smart idea. And we certainly don't want to throw away all of the effort that we've put into getting this far. So we'll definitely get our sword skill to 40. I'll have a look to see how much XP we're getting from these boars. Because if it's a significant enough amount, that's about a third of a bar. We might have to go 9, maybe. Unless this person's doing it anyway. In which case we'll group with them. But yeah, they're doing it anyway. Why are you pulling 3 things at once? We'll take the snow leopard off them. It's a bit crazy. They didn't really seem to have a care in the world. Wow. I think my experience on Alliance side has been much worse than on Horde. That's kind of par for the course, I suppose. Whenever I've played Alliance before, it's always felt like a less social, less decent atmosphere. Like people just, I don't know, they act more like retail. Like if you're playing Horde,
Pay attention. Watch
people
your back.
just seem to say hello and
Be good.
interact like people. Right, it's a light hide that we probably keep hold of. Yeah. So we've obtained our second green weapon. And were it not for the Paladin to come along to group with, we'd have had a little bit more of an entertaining fight there. But now we can head back to Karanos. We can train multiple skills. We definitely want evasion, sinister strike, evasion, eviscerate. And then when we hit 10, dual wield. Lovely, lovely dual wield. I don't know, I've always found it to be the case. I don't know if it's because more kids or younger people prefer to play there or what. I mean, that was certainly true back in vanilla. I don't know what the demographic is like these days, but it's still kept that same sort of vibe. Like the people on Horde tend to be more mature, more like if you party to do a quest, they'll acknowledge you, they'll say thank you, or they'll say something. Whereas my experience so far in the Alliance starter zone has been silence with a group. Yeah, it is odd. Like it's so noticeable when you go from one to the other. But it's the same game. It should technically be the same people, or similar people, right? But it's really not. It feels so different. I have no idea. I haven't talked to anyone on the Alliance side. Um, I don't know if more people on Horde watch OnlyFans stuff than Alliance side does. No clue. Well, yeah, but I mean, last year OnlyFans was Alliance, you know? But I think the OnlyFans thing is it's stream content, isn't it? Like there are EU streamers who are taking part as well as NA ones. It's very difficult to sort of quantify and qualify such like broad statements across large cross sections of the populace.
Here there.
Now what makes it cool? Gouge.
Off with you. What can I get for you today? Off with you. You got my attention. Watch your back.
Okay, so we can go across here and finally pick up these quests. And test. That died so fast. Resetting. What do you think of the kill speed difference on on the mobs that we sort of skipped a bit? It's kind of nutty, I think. So worth doing though. So worth doing. And the level 7s are dying in like 4 hits. See. That took longer. That was lovely. Yeah. Eventually, at some point, we will, of course, abandon leatherworking and skinning, and focus on herbalism and alchemy, so that we can make
Good.
thistle
Check it
tea,
back.
amongst other things.
Off with you.
Great to meet you.
3 silver. Not bad. Now the other one's disappeared already. Probably go and do the shimmer weed quest as well, actually. I'm just wondering where the snow leopards were. The answer is right here. So we need one more bear, 3 more leopards. I need to go up here and get the shimmerweed. But of course we will naturally take this free leather. Well, Well, there are snow leopards here, so we'll get the quest credit while we can. Yes, I would say that the questing area around Ironforge is very dangerous, and people don't treat it like it enough like it is. I mean, even the starting zone has a kind of fairly sketchy troll cave that if people are not paying attention properly, they'll die too. I think it's mostly because it goes like straight from the yellow mobs into like level 4 red ones, and in like relative quantity as well, rather than just one or two. And the wildlife that's dotted around, that's not too bad, although people still obviously do make mistakes and die there. The Wendigo cave is super dangerous, that's for sure. And that's not really something you want to be going into, but like you get the quest immediately you get to Karanos. And people think, oh, you know, that's the first thing that we can do, it's right there. Yep. It's right there, alright. But it goes from being like level 5 and 6 on the front of the cave to being level 7s inside. And that catches people out a lot. Like we've got another person dead here. Like people come to do this quest, and they do it at an inappropriate level. I don't know what level they were. But certainly, like people come at level 8 or so, and it's like, well, if you hit this, it's going to aggro both of those, and then you've got 3 casters chaining you with lightning bolts. But you can't do that solo. Headhunter running around there. But you know, people see the camp. They try. They stay too long. More, you know, multiple casts go off, and that's it. Like there's no room to run anymore. There's 3 baskets there. I don't know if I can pull this one on its own or not. We'll see. We got 2. Two is doable. I mean, the only reason 2 is doable for me is because we went and bought the crazy weapon of ridiculousness and multiplied like the damage of our existing weapon by 8 or so, wasn't it? It was 3 to 7. So multiply it by 4. It was the previous weapon that would have been times 8. So I went down to what, 40-something%. And if you think, well, okay, and then the mob takes 4 times as long to kill the first one. You know, I lost 60% of my hit points roughly. That's just death for, you know, for any other option. Well, I mean, you can look and see who it was. It doesn't seem like the smartest choice. Did you go to see who it was? Cherry knocking? But I mean, like, different areas of the UK have different names for it as well, I think. Now, I don't know how much you missed of what I was saying, but yeah, when we pulled the camp, I went down to 45%-ish. But the weapon that we're using has like 4 times the damage of a weapon that you would normally expect to be using at this point. So I think if I was normal rogue, I'd be very dead. Like, going and buying this from Lochmadan as a rogue, it feels insane. Well, I had a potion, you know. There was no danger. I pulled using throw. I checked that it was 2 mobs rather than 3. I've known about it for a very, very, very long time. I can't remember how I initially found out about it. At some point in vanilla, it is all I can really say. Like the Horde have access to a similar one they can purchase, obviously from a different vendor. But if you search the dagger on Wowhead, you'll be able to see which vendors sell it. It's Feral Blade. There's another one that is sold by the same vendor that's got +1 strength as well. So if you're a strength-based character, there's an option. It's only 1 strength, so you know. I mean, the difference is largely very little. This weapon is ever so slightly slower to attack, but so the strength 1 would be better, certainly for a warrior, because it's got a slightly faster attack speed. But the rogue doesn't mind about that so much because you're relying on Sinister Strike for instant attacks. So you're happier with the agility anyway.
Keep your feet on the ground. What can I do for you? See you soon. How are ya? Watch your back.
Yeah, the being able to use that weapon to do the Lost Pilot quest, so that you can pick that weapon up as well, is a big difference. Because when we hit 10, we'll learn dual wielding, and we'll instantly have a green offhand. Go and do that one. So I'm sort of putting off that quest. You can do it really, really early. You can do, it becomes available at level 7, and you can do it at level 7. Currently, I'm just thinking of using it for the experience boost to hit 10 faster, so that we can get dual wield. Because it's a level 12 quest. I mean, if you think like, okay, I spent a lot of time wandering around. I followed some other people about and skinned their mobs. I did some herbalism to get some herbs, either for alchemy or if we didn't find much in the way of skinning, we could sell them to get to the point where you can afford the weapon sooner. And I mean, it is literally 4 times the damage of the weapon that you would otherwise be using. So whatever you're fighting, you're killing it 4 times as quickly. Which means you're also taking 4 times less damage. And are massively safer as a result. I think it's definitely worth it for hardcore self-found. It makes Rogue feel awesome. Instead of why is he path? Why is he pathing out right now? This is the elite that we need to avoid. It comes out of its cave, walks to here, and then runs back in. But it is level 11. And it can fear you as well. So yeah, I think this is just, it's so worth it. It's, you know, it's no fiery weapon enchant,
Talk to me.
but that would be,
Big
well, cheating. And you're self-found, so can't trade. But I feel it's a fantastic start for self-found. It's certainly the best option that is possibly available. And well, I mean, you can. I think it would be, it's worth it, like on a warrior. But when yeah, fiery is basically alien gear. That's right. When you put this on a rogue, you've got Sinister Strike. You know, you've got this the ridiculous instant attacks that you're able to make. It just on a rogue, it's just phenomenal. I don't know. It feels like you've made a toon, gone to the auction house and bought gear for them. Except you've done it yourself. Legitimately, you know. Yeah. More dead people. And when we get level 10 and we can put some points and improve Sinister Strike to reduce its energy cost, it's just going to get even better. Yes, yeah, there are some good green stuff out there. I think the issue with a lot of it though is, unless you like go out with a specific plan to be able to buy it and afford it at a certain point, you're just not getting it without making some other big sacrifice, like forgoing many skill upgrades. Because like at the level that you can buy them, a lot of the other ones, like this was just over 24 silver. That's not too bad. You know, it's not huge amounts. It's still a lot for level 7, you know? Well, a lot for level 7. But it's like some of the other like two-handers and stuff that are sold by the vendor that wanders between Crossroads and Ratchet, for example. Like they're 75, 85 silver. And you have to go out of your way to have that much money spare at the level that you want to buy them at. But that's why I like skinning with this leather working so much. Like these boots, I say every pair you craft, you're making an extra 88 copper on top of whatever you were going to get for selling the leather, and that includes having to do an spend to get the coarse thread. And that's after all expenses. So there it's gone. Go in, do the stuff, leave. And then it'll run back. There we go. Takes a tiny bit of patience, but that's how you can complete the level 12 quest at level 7 if you want to.
Interest you on a pint? Off with you. Watch your back.
Anyway, so a huge chunk of experience is the main point. And now we can find one more snow leopard and then hand in the other 3 quests for this camp. Should take us to level 10 quite happily. And then we'll be able to learn dual wield and all that other nice stuff. There's a snow leopard. Although of course it's a randomly charging one, disappearing into the distance. There's another one. Yeah, when I did the earlier blacked out playthrough, I did do the quest at level 7, and after I did it, I looked back and thought that it was really quite a mistake. Like I'd have preferred to get more like generic experience from doing the skinning, and use it as I just did now to boost myself towards a decent goal like level 10 and dual wield. I think it feels a bit better.
good. Watch your back.
Go. Yeah, that would be our normal knife upgrade at this point. The camping knife. 3 to 6.
Off with you. Be good. Watch your back. Off with you.
Hi. Keep your feet on the ground.
Here there. Watch your back.
We were talking about awkward, difficult places earlier. This place, Frostmane Hold, is essentially a death trap. I don't think it can be described as anything other than that, quite honestly.
Here there. Be good. Off with you. You got my attention. Be good.
Right. Do you remember Frostmane Hold from when you've played through here before? It starts like the outside mobs are like level, I think 1 or 2 of them might be 7, but it's mostly like 8s and 9s. But then by the time you get into the back of the cave, it's 9s and 10s. There is a rare mob that can spawn in there, which is capable of casting heal on itself, and that's level 11. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. And on top of that, while you're going around the place, there are 2 like counter-rotating patrols that do a massive circular patrol of the entire cavern around the outside edge. So you can be thinking you're fine and then discovering that actually you've got one patrol coming from one direction, one patrol coming from the other direction. You're already fighting something. You're low. And what are you going to do? And on top of that, most people make the mistake of going in there at they'll try it at like level 8, thinking, oh, it's fine, you know, they're only level 9, and then it is not a place
What can I
that is sane to go near. I mean, I'm level 10, and kind of feels weird, you know. But, I think like people just don't appreciate the danger. I don't know why, but they don't.
Watch your back.
So we can equip our dagger dual wielding. We can equip our fancy boots.
How are you? Off with you.
We can
What's on your mind?
use the extra cash to train everything.
Watch your back.
Yeah, that's a quest that we'll be picking up momentarily. Yeah, it's a rogue specific class quest. Oh, Ironforge Airport. There's a. Sorry, I'm still thinking about here. There's like an airport thing in Brunel Village. I had forgotten that Ironforge had a big airport thing.
Safe travels.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing like
What can I do for you?
video of it.
Off with you.
Okay, so we've got one quest that's a delivery all over there, which we're not doing for a while. We've trained all of our skills up to date. We've got this one, which we're going to do in. Yeah, there's lots of. You can get feared through a door, for example. I think to access different parts of that have been closed off. So we got dodge, slice and dice, backstab evasion couch, sprint, sap. Of course it is. Of course it's the exact opposite side from the entrance. Where else would it be? I have memories of being in Ironforge on my Warlock. in, well, yeah, it would have been Wrath, I guess. Doing fishing for the achievement in this annoying little pool. Camped up over here for hours fishing for the Ironforge rare fish. Ugh.
Alrighty then. Well met. Can I help you? Be seeing you.
What's on your mind? See you soon.
Keep your feet on the ground.
Of course, while in Ironforge, remember to never do, so many people do, never put on auto run. It's a terrible, terrible idea. Um, why am I going there? I can check what recipes there are here. Here. Embossed leather pants at 75. We'll see if we can craft those.
Need assistance? Alright then.
Salutations.
Craft another boots for a skill up.
You have a great day now.
And then
Pleased to meet ya.
train that.
Be seeing you.
Salutations.
Train the leather working.
Right. Greetings.
Then we can cure a hide, which requires salt. And 2 horse thread. Sell that one.
Daylight's burning.
And then
Interesting.
train bracers.
Hey,
That's 4 thread.
off and away. Salutations.
Then we've got 19 leather left.
Daylight's burning. Interesting.
That requires a skill of 80.
Right.
Which is an upgrade in a level. 85. So yeah, I think for the rest of it we just make boots
Pleased to meet you.
because that's what we want to sell. We're more concerned about what is efficient for getting silver than what is efficient for skilling up. Essentially. I don't mind if it takes more leather because
Hey now.
we need to be able to afford everything. The leather working is primarily a money generating thing rather than a gear creating thing. The fact that we can create few nice gear pieces while we're initially leveling is a bonus, but it's not anything that's vital. And we need an armor kit to go on those legs.
Interest you on a pint? Be good.
Hands, feet, chest. There we go. So I think we're feeling really particularly strong. We've got some decent armor in all slots now of relatively appropriate level. 10, 10, 5, 8. The cloak, so it doesn't give much. 7, but it's a decent chest piece. And 9. So armor wise we're pretty solid. Weapon wise we're very solid. So the Feral Blade does more damage than like one of the white vendor items does that requires level 10. We're super happy on that front. We'll be able to do some more leather farming. Like that's our primary goal. We want to make some money. And we also want to hit probably 10, no, well, yeah. I was going to say 11, but as we are 10, maybe level 12 before we do Frostmane Hold, just because some of the aggro ranges in there, especially if we're doing it solo, are super sketchy. And then of course there is yet another cave quest over here. Like Dunmorrow is just riddled with cave quests. The Wendigo one, at least, you can complete by hovering around the entrance. So yeah, that's something. Small mercies, right? But the Frostmane one, part of the quest is quite literally fully explore Frostmane Hold. So you have no choice but to go inside. And this one over here, pretty sure one of the Trog types only spawns deeper in the cave. So again, you have no choice but to go inside to complete it. So I think getting to level 12, doing leather skinning, I think is the play for now. That will be our objective tomorrow, I think. And then we can complete other quests. Perhaps do more of Elwyn Forest, or alternatively just move straight on to Loch Modan, although I think there's not a tremendous amount that we can do here. And we'll end up going to Elwyn Forest and West something, isn't it? Westfall? Yes, Westfall. Anyway. But I feel we've corrected our initial error with black screen streaming. And we've progressed to a really decent and comfortable point. We've got all of our skills. We've got everything set up that we need. Yeah, I'm happy with where we are, how strong we are, what gear we've got, and I'm happy that we can spend like a level and a half just over gathering leather so that we can make more cash. Increase the leather working a little. We'll be able to craft a few more items before we finally drop the profession completely. I don't know how far we'll go. Now some of these, of course, are world drop recipes, so there's no chance we'll even see them. If we can push to getting medium leather, And that's a white pattern, so I'm assuming that's purchasable. So if we were able to get to the point where we could craft our own earthen leather shoulders, that would be a pretty solid point to stop. Certainly the dark leather belt, that's great. But we'll see. We'll see how far light leather takes us. Yeah, we'll see how far light leather takes us. Well, in that case, we're going to end stream here. I'll say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the start of our rogues journey, and I will see you next time.